Good evening, everyone. Thanks for the introduction. And at certain points during the presentation, I'm just going to say Gabor. So, so today, just in a few minutes, I'm going to give you a few examples on what we do at Grow Digital, how we make our customers happy when we're working with web shops in multiple countries and get more and more revenue from paid channels. So here are a few of our customers and what we're doing. We're a group of specialists with local knowledge, with native speaking competencies, and that's what makes us enables us to work with clients in multiple countries, mainly in the CE region. Tonight I've got a few examples for you for a few of our customers. First of all, had a web shop whom we're working with in Hungary, Romania and Slovakia, and hopefully more countries in the future. They're going to be the first example. Next one is Electronic Star, who are, as you can probably imagine, they are an electronics web shop selling so-called Me Too brands in several countries. We're doing PPC campaigns and paid channel campaigns in 4 countries: Hungary, Romania, Croatia and Slovenia. And finally, a recent client of us, Biblo, a fashion web shop. We're managing paid channel campaigns in Slovakia and Hungary at the moment, and in Romania in the near future. And during our daily job, we mostly deal with AdWords campaigns, and for that we use our own API solution called ROI Miner, which helps us a great deal to do the daily optimization work. And for Facebook advertising, we're a big fan of ROI Hunter, a check API solution for Facebook. And if you have used the native ad interface of Facebook or Power Editor, you'll find that ROI Hunter is much more useful. So the first example for tonight is Had a Web Shop, which is a second-hand clothes web shop, as Sabina already mentioned. They have a very special business model because there's like more than 20,000 unique products. There's one item of every single product, which makes it a very special business, but also very special from the campaign manager's perspective, because you have to keep the inventory up to date. You can only advertise for products that are actually available and that are actually online, so don't want to spend money on out-of-stock products. And part of the business model is that there's like regular uploads 4 times a week, and we notice that even in new countries, users get used to these upload times and visit the web shop after these dates, and most of the revenue is generated in the few hours after the upload time. Also, because of the uniqueness of the products, there's a limited basket time for visitors. So if you don't buy it within the limit, items get removed from your basket and someone else will buy it. And because of all these unique properties of the web shops, it is key to use automation. It is basically impossible to manage this amount of products on a daily basis and keep everything up to date without using automation both on AdWords and on Facebook. And in terms of expanding into multiple countries, it's been a real challenge to find out what the second-hand clothes culture looks like in other countries, and how to build a brand, a very well-known brand in Hungary, but basically virtually unknown in other countries, how to build it, how brand-related searches scale up over time, and And this is only possible really if you have native speaking colleagues who know the culture, who know the language, and can serve those local needs in each country. Now, to give you a few examples of how different these countries are, I've brought some statistics. And in Hungary, it is a very well-known brand with lots of online shops. Probably everyone in the country knows the brand. And this can be seen in the brand-related searches within paid campaigns, and the amount of revenue generated by brand-related searches is like 70% in Hungary, 30% of non-brand related keywords. Entering Romania, it was a completely different market. It's a completely new brand, basically unknown, and that can be seen in the amount of brand-related queries, which is like 50% compared to non-brand keywords. And the latest country, which we've only started a few weeks ago, in Slovakia, there are basically, up until the past week or so, there were basically no brand queries, which means no one knows the brand, no one knows Hada, no one knows Hada fashion. But the plan is to change this, and we're already seeing an increasing number of brand searches in Google. And okay, it's still working even if I put it down. Oh, Gábor, I almost forgot. Just some nice charts. No PowerPoint presentation can miss them. On this, I'd like to show you, or really to introduce you to how we managed to increase paid channels for the web shop. And the chart shows you the last 12 months, well, really the past year, 2015, and shows you revenue generated by non-PPC sources and PPC sources. And you can clearly see the seasonality. Basically summertime and December are off-season for a second-hand clothes web shop. But throughout the year, if you just check the trend, we've been able to increase revenue generated by paid channels. And a similar case in Romania, which was only started back in July last year, and we only started paid campaigns in the last week of September, but managed to scale up the spend and scale up revenues very quickly right after the start of the campaigns. And again, December is really off-season, so that's why the sudden decrease. Okay, what we learned from working with Hada webshop in these countries is that every market is different. You really have to know what's going on, really have to prepare for all those activities in those countries, and do your homework before expanding to new countries. Do keyword research, check keyword volumes, search volumes, and try to assess what you can expect in that country. What may work in one country will either work or maybe not, but you'll have to test it and be prepared for that. And finally, when managing multiple countries, even with several PPC specialists involved, again, automation is your friend. It helps in the daily job, and it makes your life much easier. And the next example for tonight is Electronic Star, another client we're working with in several countries, including Hungary, Romania, Croatia, and Slovenia. And what we've seen there is that there's a huge growth potential in these brands, and we've managed to prove that throughout the last year. If you just look at the comparison of revenue generated by, again, non-paid channels and paid channels, there's a much higher increase from paid channel revenue compared to organic growth last year. Okay, so with these two examples, let me just share quickly our recipe for growth. What helps you grow these web shops, grow revenues for your clients, and basically make them happy. The first ingredient of this recipe is strategy. It helps you not only as a vision to know where you're going and know what you want to achieve, but also helps the daily job when optimizing campaigns. Having your strategy in mind is key, because it helps making even the smallest decisions during the daily job. And you can aim for two basic strategies. Number one is market acquisition. When you want to grow, you want to acquire market share, in which case you may want to aim for the highest possible spend with at least an ROI 0 investment, and this is good for increasing market share. On the other hand, the other strategy is to maximize profit. Once you have a good enough market share, you would probably want to spend as much as you can and make as much profit as you can. These are very different approaches in strategy and in the daily campaign optimization as well. Our second ingredient of the recipe is testing. So it also helps in the daily job to keep testing, keep changing ads, keep changing text ads, try different combinations, and actually go back and test again. That's the story. We've got some examples here on what we've been able to achieve with our ROI Miner tool, testing different ad text variations on a big web shops campaign. And the final ingredient of the recipe is automation. Again, I keep saying this because it makes life so much easier, especially when you have several thousand products. It's basically impossible to keep up to date and keep every product online if you want to go down to the product level. And the more products you have, the more time you save. It's that simple. And just an example, using automation, we've been able to advertise all products and manage to increase revenue, increase average order value, and finally increase ROI. So finally, as a wrap up, three key things here tonight. First, select your strategy and stick with it. It helps with your daily job. Look for growth potential when moving to new countries. Again, strategy here is important, but it helps you with your daily job. And automation is your friend. If you use it, it makes your life easier and less work. Let the computers do the work that they can. And those are the main points for tonight. Thank you.